My name is Tyler Gilliland, and this is my Air Force story. My Air Force story began with my great-uncle, who served in the Army Air Corps during World War II. As an aviator, he served in the Pacific Theater. He was shot down and captured by the Japanese, and he survived the Bataan Death March. My grandfather was also in the Air Force, and the highlight of his career was working with the SR-71 Blackbird. My father was in the Air Force and spent the first half as a T-38 instructor pilot. He spent the latter half as a B-1B bomber pilot, and he was deployed to Iraq and Afghanistan. He retired in July of 2008. I was born in 1998 in Abilene, Texas. Our family was stationed at Dyess Air Force Base at the time. When I was 2, we moved to Ellsworth Air Force Base in South Dakota. In 2004, we moved to Edwards Air Force Base in Southern California. It was here I spent the longest duration of my childhood in the Air Force. The previous 2 bases, I'm sure I had great times there, but it was the times at Edwards that really formed me and had the biggest impact on my Air Force story. While at Edwards, I was active in all activities and sports that I had time for. I played football around the neighborhood every day. I played soccer, I played baseball, I played basketball in the leagues on base, and I had the time of my life doing all of it. Later on at Edwards, around 2005, 2006, our family got into motocross and bicycle motocross, and these were truly some of my greatest memories. To this day, I still look back on the memories of our motocross as some of the greatest times of my life. And in a roundabout way, I have Edwards and the Air Force to thank for that. Besides the sports, there's another thing about Edwards and the Air Force that I really enjoyed at the time. Whenever someone would retire, there was a particular unofficial ceremony after the official retirement ceremony when the retiree would have a group of friends and co-workers, and they would all go out to the base paintball field and shoot each other up one last time. My brother and I were allowed to tag along to a couple of these games, and those paintball games got my brother and I into a new sport called airsoft. And where I live now, off base, airsoft has filled all the gaps that motocross and sports previously had. From very early on, there were 2 things that I really loved: dinosaurs and airplanes. And my life as an Air Force brat satisfied my appetite for the latter, and then some. As I grew older, my interest in dinosaurs evolved into an interest in motorsports. But the one thing that didn't change was my interest in aviation and the military in general. Whenever I can, I love to make it to an air show. As I've grown older, I've been able to help out and volunteer at air shows, which is just fine by me. I get to work, I get to help people, but I also get to see the air shows, which is what honestly I'm really there for. Watching the airplanes perform acrobatics, I imagine what it would be like if that were me. That's what I love the most about the air shows, is I get to be there in person, see the aircraft flying, and imagine what it would be like if I was the one flying it. Beyond the air shows and the sports, there was one thing that stood out to me most about life in the Air Force. It was exactly that. It was life in the Air Force. At Edwards, there was a sense of community that you truly do not get anywhere else. Everyone is on the same team, no matter what. Everyone has each other's backs. Everyone knows everyone somehow. There is a sense of security and familiarity at every base that I've been to. The reason why I feel home there is because of the people. And there are some exceptional people and groups in the Air Force who've inspired me to try to become like them myself. Pilots soaring like angels, special tactics doing what they do, giving everything that others may live. It makes me feel like going and writing my own Air Force story. I can't say the Air Force has changed my life. And that's because it's not an outside influence. The Air Force is a part of my life. I plan on attending Benedictine College in Atchison, Kansas in the fall. I'll be an Air Force ROTC cadet. My goal for a career in the Air Force is to become a special tactics officer, a combat rescue officer, or a pilot. The people, the community, and my own life story give me all the inspiration I need to get there. And that is my Air Force story.